My name's Jay Jones, and lately I've been saying I'm the son of Susie Jones. She has taught me very well. She's a survivor of this school. She went here from the time she was 4.5 till she graduated at 16 years of age. She went home to her mother, and her mother didn't know how to be her mother. So she lived on her own in Detroit, Michigan at 16 years of age. She didn't have the tools except a hard work ethic to survive in a modern city compared to Sault Ste. Marie. On my mother's side, her mother went to residential school and she was a survivor. On my father's side, 3 generations before him are residential school survivors. So I'm considered 3 things: 5th generation residential school survivor, an intergenerational school survivor, and my new favorite term that Liz uses a lot, 1st generation out. My mother also said there's blood memory. So all those generations before me, it's in my blood. It's in my blood right now, coursing through my veins. She also taught me that it's important to forgive. We've talked about truth and reconciliation, and I think one other major component is forgiveness. If you don't forgive the person that has done you wrong, then it's going to be very hard to accept the truth, and it will be even harder to reconcile with those people. So I ask you, as a group, collectively, individually, forgive each other. You have to do that, otherwise you can't move forward. Everybody's in a different spot in their healing journey. We've talked to people that have just started their healing journey. They've held these stories inside them for decades. Others, like what I call the Shingwauk women and the men, mostly the women though. The women are doing the work. But they've been on their journey a lot longer than most. They've been healing and talking with each other for almost 4 decades. That's a long time. They have a head start. I like to, if you heard me at the pre-forum day, I like to say they started this movement that we're part of today. They started this as a total grassroots movement.
it looked like a big building. It was really huge. And then, okay, well, where's my brothers? Nope, can't go talk to them. You can't go play with them, you can't eat with them. They had to stay on that side. I was all alone on this side. And being pale and not really knowing my language at that time, the other native girls giggling in the corner, looking at me. I know you're talking about me. I'll tell on you if you're talking like that. So they were kind of scared of me, really, because I was really tall. But it was hard. I could hear the kids crying for their mom at night, and you couldn't go comfort them even, because the supervisor would come in and, hey, and there was no teddy bears. And work. We had to work. My older brother, Ronnie, that was my other brother. But my oldest brother, he got hit by a drunk driver. And that driver never even got charged. But anyways, he died at 8 or 9, I think. I'm not even sure. His name was Harold. And Ronnie, well, he got in trouble on the other side trying to get out of there anyway. And he had to brush all the stairs with a toothbrush. That's 3 floors of stairs. We had this porridge, 1 slice of bread and water, not milk, water in the breakfast, and it was almost every breakfast. Meanwhile, once we were able to be privileged to work in the kitchen for their meals, oh man, crystal glasses and roast beef and everything, the works, tablecloth, nice silverware, and us, and there was this one time when we were having supper, the girls on that side, the boys on that side, and this great big pot, it was green. Everybody looked at it, what is that? I don't want any. We never had it. Well, you don't want to eat it? You just go back up to your dorm and go to bed. Well, the feeling I got there was very cold, because who looked after you, their name was, there is a supervisor. And we all had to get washed first with that stinky stuff, because they thought we were all lice and everything. So we had to be thrown in a big tub there, and there was no feeling. Even seeing them, like there was no comfort in the priest's eyes or the supervisor's eyes. They just, like they were, as if they were mad we came there. They weren't very friendly.
So what years were you there until?
In 1965 to 1970 when they closed. And but they can only find recording of me for 3 years. So they only paid me for 3 years. I don't know how that was, but I said, well, whatever you want to give me, that's fine. Because no matter how much money, it's not gonna help me. So, but my brothers, they got more of a compensation because they were abused on that side. I wasn't too bad. I could kind of defend myself by then. But they got abused on the boys' side, a lot of them did. So my brothers, I know you could tell they were still hurting. And by the way they lived as well. So getting my story out there makes me feel better, because it's the truth. It's not a fantasy, it's a fact.
Habosho, Usawa de Becky Sisikweni Indigenous Makwado dem. Getaganzi Big No Jaba. Ujipoinishnabe Kwayendal. My spirit name is Yellow Moon Woman. I'm from the Bear Clan, and I live just down the road here in Garden River, and I'm an Ojibwe woman. I'm also a survivor of Shingwauk Indian Residential School. I share my experience of attending the residential school. It wasn't a very good place to be. It wasn't, how'd you say, a 24/7 bad. It wasn't 24/7 good either. And I've experienced every part of abuse that you could imagine in this school by living here for 7 years. I've heard there's been a lot of talk over the last few years about truth and reconciliation. But to me, as far as I've known, it's been just talk. What is reconciliation? What is reconciliation? Reconciliation is being truthful with ourselves. And that's a big step for the non-Native people to do. That's a step that every one of us in Canada has to do. Every person in Canada to be open to what Canada has done to us as Anishinaabe. As Anishinaabe kids, as for taking us out of our homes, as for putting us in these residential schools, and really conditioning us and taking everything that that you could possibly. They took us away from our community, took us away from our parents, and took our culture away from us, took our language away from us. They stripped us of everything and conditioned us to live their way. That's what was done to us. Today, it still has an effect with a lot of our survivors, our intergenerational survivors, because a lot of our survivors that have gone on did not deal with the pain that they experienced. And that's a hard thing to do, because when it becomes natural to you, you don't know what you have to deal with. But they know that they're in pain, and that's passed on. It's passed on to generations. And it still today has an effect on our First Nations. When I started my journey, what does truth and reconciliation mean to you? It doesn't mean a damn thing, because I was still angry at what happened here to me. I had to take that step, which was a very difficult step, to be forgiving for what was done here to me. And in order to do that, in order to move forward, that's what you have to do. You have to be forgiving.
Poso ando temak pagnagising dishin kas minaka kunaga po it's engaging kanik guimes. Yuwinako stamyo dishin kas zone. Chehag what nake Grand Council Tree number 3 onigagi mitso dishin kas zone. Mao it's dash niktendan here. Nagamino it's how in guimes Jonas Fiddler. Kakunaga po it's engaging kanik. Pagnagisik engaging kanik ko chehag. Go Kaz yan Charles Fox Division Kaz. By way of introduction, as a result of the residential schools, I almost lost my language. And when I got my language back through the efforts of my parents, my father told me to make every and best chances never to lose that language again. So I've been trying that for the last few years of my life. I've been retaining that language as much as I can. And he also instructed me that when I spoke in person, that I had to use that first language that was given to me by my creator. So by formal introduction, I was introducing myself, my given name from the elders of Treaty Number 3 is Pagunegijik, which means hole in the day. And the name given to me by my godfather, my Guimes, Jonas Fiddler of Sandalega, is Kakunagapoch, which means he who stands tall. And I'm proud of those names because they're our tradition and our culture. And it's one that is accorded to me by elders who taught me a lot in my spirituality and my leadership. My anglicized or colonized name is Charles Fox, and the place I'm from is Michiganzayagan. The English name that was given to it is Bearskin Lake, which is also a misnomer. Bearskin Lake was Hudson's Bay trading post. And when the Hudson Bay trading post moved to Michigan, the name went with it, and so we were given that name. For reconciliation to truly happen, society at large, the Canadian society, has to come to terms with what occurred in the residential school systems, how that policy almost destroyed a whole society and community of people. And we have to give it its true I suppose, resolution. And it's got to be a multifaceted approach of all society that would include us. And there has to be special days like the one we're going to be observing on September 30th. And by and large, in terms of the legacy for our children, we have to leave them the truth. They have to learn the truth. They have to understand their history. They have to understand their origins.
this forum, to have all of you from across Canada, some from the United States and some from Mexico, is so awesome. It's really, really awesome for you to come here and to say that you are going to work together for this truth and reconciliation. I sat with a group just last week and a half ago, as an elder with them. These people were so smart, they were so educated, and they were just, some of the stuff that they talked about was way above my head. But I was honored to sit with them. And one thing I can say is what I heard was everything was coming from here. Nothing from here. And I said, until you can bring your education and all the stuff that you know, because I know that you are very smart people, down to here, our Mother Earth is in trouble today because of all the smartness of you, the non-native people, the scientists and everything. We're in trouble. And if what you want to do is still like in the steps of what was done, I would imagine, I said that some of you have family, some of you have kids, some of you have grandkids, I don't know. But those are the ones that you need to think about. Don't think that you're so smart. You know, that, oh, I can do this, I can be smarter than this guy, I can be smarter than this woman, I can be smarter, and I can accomplish that. Yes, you probably can. But until you start thinking and feeling with your heart, to bring your brain and your heart together is the most difficult thing to do, because we're not conditioned to do that. We're conditioned only to use our brain. So start using your hearts when you're working, when you're out there talking about what you learned and what you talked about here for the last 3 days. Speak from your heart. And I know that we can accomplish a lot and see what we can accomplish in the next 5 years, which I think we can really, really move forward 100% forward. And I say to you, I wish you all the best going home. I ask Yamnado, the Creator, to travel with you, also to be with your families that you have left behind. To bless you all, and for all of you to have a safe trip home. Now, what you make watch?
First of all, I think I just tell you that I've been one of the members of Children of Shingwauk alumni right from the get-go, and I've held all different positions of the executive. I came this afternoon, and I didn't know till I got here about 1:30 that I would be speaking to you this afternoon. So I'll try to be as brief as possible. I have 15 minutes, and Jay told me he'll shorten up his if I go over my 15 minutes. Everybody knows me as the Acker, and I don't deny it. I guess the first thing I want to say is it's been an honor to be part of this process and talk to the kids. So that's where I like to be, talking to them, because they're the ones that will drive what we started as survivors. And I'll be doing this, I think, until they'll be wheeling me around in a wheelchair, because I'm so passionate about what I do. And I've discovered over the years that my survivors over here, that we're all of the same passion. And we're all getting on age, and our job now is to pass on some of these ideas and things we would like to see done. And I thank you again for taking the time to listen to me. Thank you.
words were very profound in terms of how we have to all work together to make things happen. And everybody is a part of that process. The older people, the elders, the keepers of the stories, the keepers of the songs, the mothers, the fathers, the families all together, the young people, the students that are in school now learning about this whole process. It is the truth. It is the truth. We need to believe that. It's not that we want to say, oh, look at you did this and you did that. We want you to tell the truth, and only when you tell the truth can there be reconciliation. You can't reconcile with someone who lies to you, lies to the people. So that's why we work so hard to tell our stories, to put them out there. And I know that we're going in the right direction and Creator is guiding us. Absolutely, absolutely. And we're all needed. Our members and our families, everybody, right to the person who is preparing our food right now. They're preparing our food to come and feed us because we work so hard too. But they work hard too, so everybody is a part of this journey. And what we want to do and why, and when we do these things, we come together with new ideas, new commitments to the future, new people that we meet, and some of them are very, very, very talented, to be able to move us forward and take us forward into the future.
Commemorate the lives of those children who were lost, who died, and who came through the residential school system.